everyone, bright and early this morning, nice and early start, trying to beat the traffic. It took about 1.75 hours to get down here, so not too bad. Mornings are certainly drawn in now. Bit of a damp morning here at the marina, as you can see. I've come down by myself today. Karen's at home with Isla, so I'm hoping to get a few bits and bobs done. I've took the day off work so I can try and get some extra stuff done. There's one thing you'll find with DIY in general, because I've always been in a DIY, it always takes 3 times as long as you think it's going to. So today I am going to be trying to run the piping for the hot and cold water. So that is going to be obviously putting the piping in here, the water pump, the accumulator. I'll explain what that does later. Basically keeps pressure in the system though, so you get a smooth water flowing when you turn the tap on. There's no delay waiting for a pump to kick in. It means the pump's got to kick in less, that kind of thing. So I'll see you in a minute. First of all though, coffee. Jeez, yeah, coffee. See you in a minute. Okay, with that done, let's get started. Actually, no. First of all, looks like we're gonna have to clean up. This state Karen's left this place in. I tell you what. I'm only saying Action's not here. Yeah, so we're gonna get tidied up a little bit first, swept up, so we're working in a clean as environment as we can. It was a bit wet here last time we were here, so a little bit dirt bringing in on my shoes and that kind of thing. So I'll get brushed up and then we'll get started. Overalls. How professional do I look? Okay, first things first. So we did a monster shop at Wickes. Got everything I think I need. Well, there will be some stuff I need to order on top of this, but we've gone for this JG Speed Fit. I saw another YouTuber making a narrowboat with Nanny and Grandad. They did a really good video on how to use the Speed Fit stuff, because I've never used it before, to be honest. Seems quite simple. It's just twist lock kind of stuff. So you've got your T-pieces, U-bends, shoulders, that kind of thing. You see, 90-degree turns, lots of Jubilee clips for the walls, and of course all our valves as well. There needs to be some valves to obviously isolate different bits and pieces. As well as that, we have our water pump. We've gone for the Jabsco. I asked Middle and Chandler's about this, and they recommended this one for the size of boat and the fact that the appliances we have running off it, and an 8-litre accumulator. So some of this stuff opened up. This accumulator, this goes just after the piping's going to come from the water tank, fresh water tank, to the pump. Then from the pump, this is going to go in line. And this is just a pressurized vessel, basically. There's a rubber bladder here. It's got gas in here. The water pressure, as it builds up from the pump, obviously expands the bladder up. So you've got some water pressure. When the pump stops, you've got that pressure. That's something you naturally get in a domestic hot water system. When you turn the tap on, the water's there straight away. But on a canal boat, theoretically, you have to wait for the pump to kick in. Well, that's no good if you just want half a glass of water or to quickly rinse your hands. So this gives you the pressure to instantly get that water until the water pump kicks in, or if it has to kick in. So that's the point of this. It just gives you bit more of an easy system to use. You can actually see the little rubber bladder in there. I don't know if you can see it. Actually touch it with my finger, which I'll not, I'll probably break it. There's a few different makes you can get. Jab screws seem to be quite common. Fitting adapters, that's good to see. And this one actually comes with an inline strainer. You can just see there, you can clip this off, and there's a little mesh filter in there. I don't know if you can see it, like a little gauze filter. And all that does is anything that gets into the water tank, remember, you know, you're opening a hole outside and you're using a hose, so you could get, you know, bits of grass in, for instance, bits of grit, that kind of thing. This will filter those out before it gets to the pump, so you don't damage your pump. So that's the idea of this, and obviously it needs to be accessible, so you can just clip it off, clean the filter under the tap, or some water, because if I run the tap, the pump won't be protected, and then put it back in, so it's a reusable filter, so really quite good. And then obviously on the bottom it shows you the direction of flow as well, so you can't get it wrong. It's quite simple, he says, before fitting it. Let's have a look at this bad boy. So that's the pump there, bit of a beast really, some good weight to it. So that's the motor obviously, and I'm not sure how this works actually. I'm not sure if it's an impeller, I think it is, or whether it's more of a diaphragm. I think it's an impeller, doesn't matter as long as it works, who cares. I've got the wire in there, and that's to connect straight to our wiring that the Marina have left me there, so that'll work out quite nice. I'll just have to put some spade connectors on there, and you can see there's little rubber feet on the bottom here, and that's to stop any vibration, because you get a bit of vibration off these. I'm probably going to try and use flexible hoses from this as well, just to prevent, even though it's, you know, a poly pipe, you'll still get a bit, you know, vibration in the pipes, which will work away along the boat. Very evident in the middle of the night if you get up and use the lube and wash your hands. But the flexible braided hoses, obviously they absorb some of that, so I'm probably going to get some of them. We'll see how we go. Anyway, I'm going to read the instructions and then we'll work out where these things are going to go. But what I'm going to do, because of the flow of the pump, if I can find it, yeah, the flow goes that way, yeah, so the inlet's here, so this is where the strainer is going to be, etc. So I'm going to mount the pump this way. There's plenty of clearance between this hot water pipe. I put these two battens on the floor, so it just heightens it up a little bit, and the pipe's going to come round it. The pipe is going to be supported. I'm going to make some other wooden battens to support the pipe going into here, and then obviously will come, the strainer will be here as well, and then where is it? So it'll be like that kind of thing, however it goes. There we go, I've got to work that out yet. And then it'll come off and obviously go to the accumulator as well. From there to the rest of the boat, to all the taps, washing machine, and of course to the clarifier as well, to keep that topped up for hot water. So I'm just working out how this strainer fits, because the instructions don't appear to be, they mention fit an inline strainer, but they don't mention obviously the supply one with this one. So you've got the natural two pipes for connecting here, but of course with the strainer it has its own connection, so we've just got to fit this into here. So pull that out, you can see it's a wider hole. Make sure the O-ring's in place. That pushes into there till it won't go any further, and then literally you push this little, there we go, he says. We'll see how good that is. And then this, the same into here, so you can see it's quite an easy system actually. So again, let's make sure I've got this the right way around. Yes, that's the flow of water, so strainer needs to strain from the tank. So I shall pop this into here. Again, the O-ring's in place. There we go, it's in as far as it will go, and then there we go. Can't be that easy surely. Well, we'll go with this. Again, I'll just make sure the O-ring's there. That's the outlet. go and click it into place, and you can see that smaller hole there, so it literally holds that into place. So that's that done. First part of it put together. I'll get this put into place and then we'll start running the pipes. So I'm just putting some screws in, and again you can see you've got some, I might have to move this, we'll see how we go. You've got little rubber feet here, so when you tighten these down, don't tighten them down too tight, nip them up, but remember is the whole point of that rubber is that it absorbs the vibrations. If you tighten it down too much, the rubber will compress and it won't absorb the vibrations, it can't. So we'll get this done. There you go, you just see it nipped up, and you can see there's movement there, so it can vibrate, and that's the whole point, okay? Well, that's how I see it anyway. We'll see if it's right. As predicted, I did have to move the pump. You can see the old holes here. That's because I need a special fitting to go from speed fit to this. Yeah, well, not actually to this flexible braided water hose. That's going to go from there then to this adapter, which will turn it into the speed fit. So I've just been across to the little shop at Lymm Marina, quite well stocked actually. So this was only £1.20, so that's great. So I'm going to be fitting this to these. I'll actually heat them up a little bit first, and I'm going to use Jubilee clips, 2, to make sure it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to leave that like that, and I'm going to start to actually, I'll just move this back a bit so you can see. I'm going to start doing the pipe work here. Okay, so you can see I have made a few connections here. I've put this clear reinforced, you can see the like webbing structure on here that reinforces the pipe, stop kinks. Still be careful with it, obviously don't do any tight corners. I've put 2 Jubilee clips on each one of these, and that seems to be best practice. What's the harm? Belt and braces, as they say. I haven't cut this one down yet. Oops, I haven't cut this one down yet because I've got to get the appropriate fitting to be able to connect it to the speed fit. So what I'm going to start doing now is kind of the thing I've been dreading, to be honest. Actually connecting this to the speed fit. I don't know why. I think in the past when I've done DIY, I haven't had much luck when it comes to these kind of connections, olives that is, with copper pipe. But I watched a few videos, it looks pretty simple. The main thing is that you use these inserts, speed fit inserts, I'll show you them there. They actually support the pipe, so when you tighten them down the bolts to crush the washer, i.e. to create the mechanical seal, it won't actually distort the pipe. That's the idea. So these give it that extra security. You can see there's an extra ring on there as well, so they really are a good idea. So we're going to try that now and see how we go. I'm just going to adjust this just so you can see it a bit better. Let's have a go. What could go wrong? So you can see I've used the shortest length of pipe here as well because I don't want it sticking out too much. We're already lost room in the bedroom, so to speak. So I've got my olive up against there. Put that in so it's all the way home, and then tighten it up by hand. There we go. And I have these to actually hold the body of this while I do this, so I'm not spinning it round, so to speak. So be careful not to do this. So that's all the way in. Let's give it a go. And you haven't got to hang on this because obviously it is a plastic pipe. All you're doing is crushing the olive. It's you don't have to push as hard or tighten as hard as you would copper pipe. Just making sure that's not moving. You can tell I'm being really careful with this. There you go. I can feel that tighten up there, so I'm going to leave it like that. Making sure I haven't disturbed anything. Oh heck, that's a metal shard. First injury of the day. There we go, that's out. Yeah, I haven't disturbed anything. Good. And these, obviously with them being speed fits, quite handy to move, which is handy. It won't here with a mechanical fitting, because the olive's got it nipped up, but these will move. Right, so that's that done. That went a lot better than I thought. Well, I haven't turned the water on yet, have I? But it looks pretty sound. Obviously, I'll be checking all of these anyway. Right, okay. Just going to close the windows. It's starting to rain here, and I'll come back. Don't mind if you see a bit of blood and stuff. That little metal shard's obviously just stuck on my finger. I'll survive. So what I'm going to do now is connect these up. So that will enable me to get the pipe over to where I need it to connect to the inlet for the pump. So I'll probably speed this up a little bit, and I'll see you when it's done. I'll just manoeuvre this just so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do is leave that there until I've fitted this bit here, because I'm well aware that every time I'm fiddling on with the connection here, I'm shifting this pipe. I do not want to work anything loose, and I'm sure there's plumbers out there thinking that's ridiculous, it won't happen, but keep having flashbacks of a leaky radiator many years ago. So I'm going to connect that up first. So I'm going to leave this, you can see it's ready to connect in. Something else you probably noticed I've used is these little things, these little collars. And I've got red ones and blue ones, just to help us to identify the pipe I'm looking at, but also by putting this little collar in, it stops the pipe unloosening. So it's a belt and braces thing. You don't have to have them, most people don't use them, but I'm going to use everything I can get to prevent a leak on a boat. So what I'm doing now is just mounting where the accumulator tank's going to go. So it's going to go down the side of the water tank here, which is a bit of a dead space actually, so it works quite well. Water pipes are going to come from the pump over to here. There's going to be a T-piece which connects to the accumulator to keep the pressure, and then the water is going to continue off down the side of the boat towards the taps, immersion heater, that kind of thing. I'll clarify, I keep calling it immersion heater, same thing. These little brackets go in, you've just got these big cable ties basically hold the whole thing in place. I'm just putting these little rubber feet in to protect it. These come with the kit. These will just protect the metal of the tank, keep away from metal on metal contact. And you can see I haven't tightened these up yet, so I'll do that at the end once I know everything's in its right place. Right, so I'll just dry fit this. There we go. There we go, so that's going to fit there nicely. Obviously once I do the tie wraps up to keep everything in place. Off the front here, as I say, I've got to get a connector for this. I'll have to order that tonight. A mechanical connector if you like, which will go straight, speed fit, which will go straight into the T-piece. And then, as I say, the water pipes will go off like the hot water pipes do. That's something else to put on order tonight for next time. But again, we're just going to run all the piping so everything's where it is. I just need to cut into it and add the bits I need. So I'll start doing that. Right, what we're doing now is just finding out where we're going to be putting this expansion tank for the hot water. Thus it's red, which is handy for me because I'll probably get mixed up. Let's have a look here. So I've just been working out, luckily when Chris did the handover, he's given us loads of paperwork with regards to information where everything is, so just working out where the cold water's coming in. The hot comes out here, it's mixed, you can adjust the mixture, and then this is where your hot water comes out to go to all your, well, taps, etc., you know, washing machines, stuff like that. So the accumulator has to go after that, after it's mixed. So this is it here, and then you can see off it goes to the sink. So I mean, geez, it's an idiot's guide. This is great. It's just what I need. So I'm thinking about putting my accumulator, because there's not much room for it on the floor, so I'm going to be putting it here on the wall, well away from that gas pipe on the right, obviously. I think that's probably the best place for it. So I've just marked up a little pencil line there. I'm going to take this bracket off and attach the bracket here and see how it goes. And then obviously not tomorrow, I'm back here on Sunday, I think it is. I can start running the pipe work, the T-pieces, etc., to get it all fitted up. So it's mocking stuff up a lot today and working out what extra little bits and pieces I need for fitting everything. But I'll get the bracket on and then I'll come back to you and see what you think. Right, I'm having a bit of a think about this actually, and looking at this piece of wood that I'll be screwing into. I know there's nothing behind here, you've got a gap with the spray foam before you get to the metalwork of the bulkhead for the engine bay, but this wood isn't that thick. So what I'm going to do is cut a bit of ply, a square of ply, which I can attach to that with no more nails, that kind of thing. And that will give me more to screw the bracket into. The expansion tank isn't particularly heavy, but there will be water in it. Imagine like half full. Well, it's an 8 litre expansion tank, so 8 litres of water. So it needs to be attached properly. So I'm going to have to do that next time. I'm going to cut the bit of ply and I'll have to get myself some no more nails. I don't think silicone would be any good for that. So I'm going to do that next time. What I'm going to do now then instead is try and work out what fittings I need. Where are we? There we are. Yeah, so I'm going to go around and work out what fittings I need to be able to attach to the expansion tank. So that's a 22mm pipe on there, or spigot I think it's called, and I need a reducer to go down to 15mm for the rest, and other bits and pieces. So I'm going to do that now, make a few notes, and I'll come back at the end, okay? Well, I think that's us done for the day, everyone. I've made some notes about what fittings I need, so I can connect up things like the end of this. So I need something that can connect that, obviously down to speed fit, so I can connect this up. Also, obviously for the water pipes as well, to be able to connect into this system here as well. And some fittings up at the front as well as that. So I've got a bit of ordering to do, so I think that's enough for today. I've got some of the pipe ran. I'll just show you what I've done with that. It's a bit of a mess. It's a work in progress. So you can see the pumps in. There's a lot of stuff still not connected. You can see where the accumulator is going to go. And I've ran the pipe with the little chocks here, which are, when I'm finished, obviously I'll close these to lock them in. I've ran that all the way through to the bathroom, and there we go, there's the end of it there. That's going to obviously go to the sink. I'm not 100% sure where the sink's going yet, so that's why I've left it a little bit extra. It'll then be T-pieced and connected through into the living area and through to the calorifier. So I've got that to do. It's chucking it down outside, and I need to use my multi-tool to cut this little bit of wood out of here, just a little bit of notch, so I can obviously fit these pipes through and take it through the clarifier. So I need to do that there and a couple of other bulkheads, and I'll do that next time. I'm not going outside to connect the shoreline, that's just not going to be fun. The canals really need this rain, mind you, so I'm not complaining. So that's it for this week. Well, that's it for today. Me and Karon are going to be back on Sunday, so there'll be another video next week. That's the plan. So again, thanks for watching, everyone. I've had really good response, really good comments, so thank you very much. Lots of new subscribers, so thank you again and welcome. You know, I really appreciate you subscribing and liking the video. Makes it worth doing what we're doing, you know, because it all takes extra time, as they say. Bring you along for the journey, why not? So again, if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, take care everyone. Bye bye now.